Hello, everyone. This is Mayor Lori Lightfoot, and I want to congratulate all of our high school graduates on this very special day in your young lives. Now, this moment isn't what any of us expected. As all of you know, you are not just a class of 2020 for your schools. You are the first and only graduating class of Chicago in our city's history. I don't want this to be a speech about 2020. I want this to be the start of a conversation about 2030 and about what you will do with the lessons learned over your life, and particularly these last few months, and especially the events of late May and early June. Nothing about these past 3 months has been fair, especially not for you. Not only has your world been turned upside down by a global pandemic, but we've recently experienced the pain and trauma of the murder of George Floyd, which has forced us to reckon with the inequality and injustice that very much is a part of our past and lingers in our present. The question is, how do we stop it from being part of the future? Our future, your future. So as you look ahead to the months and years that lay before you, I hope you ask yourself, how can I do my part to contribute to a better tomorrow for myself, my family, and my community? President John F. Kennedy famously said, quote, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." He issued a bold call to action to that generation of Americans to commit themselves to a set of values and actions centered around the public good, not waiting for someone else to lead, but jumping into the fray to create a better world for all of us. We are standing in the midst of another one of those defining moments. I hope you feel it as I do. But for all that's been taken away, these past few months have forced us to also recognize just how connected we all are. Each challenge presents an opportunity to not just mourn the loss, but to be energized by what we have gained, starting with our connection to each other. Since the start of the COVID-19 crisis, we've been saying we're all in this together. But the meaning and power of this moment is in how it's forced us to recognize that's been true all along. In following the line of this virus from one person to another, from one community to another, or seeing the shared passion and intensity in the response to the murder of George Floyd. What we've also seen is how phrases like "what you do matters" and "what you do counts" aren't just lines at all. We are literally connected to each other. And by seeing that what you do matters and what you do counts, we're also forced to ask ourselves, how do you want to matter? And how do you want to count? It's a question you can't escape because it's answered by every single thing you do. And for the first time in your lives as adults, you are now fully responsible to own it. Back when I was running for mayor, I participated in a forum at Whitney Young High School where a senior asked me what I'd be doing to make him want to come back after he was done with college. That was a good question, but now it's time to flip the script. What are you going to do for your city? What are you going to do to make Chicago stronger, more equitable, and more inclusive? One of the things COVID-19 has done over these past few months is shown the incredible service and mettle of a city with people stepping up throughout our neighborhoods in big ways and in small. With women like Bridget Marabella from Back of the Yards, who's been helping CPS distribute food. Not only does she ensure all the students in her community receive meals every day, but she's been preparing and providing kits for other sites as well. Or men like Jeremy McGrew, who began building ventilators with his mom. And that's on top of his job as an essential city worker, which he's had for 7 years. And pastors like John Zahas of Grace and Peace Church, who's been leading a community pantry that's servicing 2,000 local residents, 8 senior homes, and an early education center, and recently opened a sister site in Humboldt Park. We saw that service and mettle in the righteous, nonviolent protests that arose in response to George Floyd's murder. And we saw it again when people came together in community-wide efforts to clean up and repair neighborhood businesses that were damaged by looters. So, class of 2020, here's my challenge to you, what I'm calling the 2020 Pledge. I want to hear from you about what you want 2030 to look like and what you are personally committed to doing to turn your aspirations into reality. My team and I have even created an email address so you could send me your answers. mayor2020@cityofchicago.org. I want to know what your vision is for yourselves and your city and how you plan on getting us there. This school year may not have turned out the way any of us planned, but it also transformed this day into one none of us could ever dreamed of. This is a great day for our city because it's filled with hope and promise for our future in ways we are just beginning to comprehend. And you, all of you, made this happen. And all of you, our 2020 class of Chicago, are better equipped and better prepared than anyone to recognize that building a better Chicago in 2030 means starting today, right now, to build a Chicago where our lines of connection are more inclusive and more open to opportunities for all of our residents. I want to congratulate all of you once again for reaching this incredible milestone on your life's journey. I can't wait to hear from you on how you plan to make that journey count. And in return, I promise I'll be there with you every step of the way. Thank you, and God bless you.